All right, can everybody hear us okay in the back? Everybody can hear? You got audio good? All right, cool. All right, everybody, welcome to Coach's Show number 1. Happy to be back here. Thank you, Fatty's Pizza, and I'm Graham. If you don't know me, this is Conor Witherspoon. Everybody, round of applause. So for everybody that doesn't know Conor, just go ahead and introduce yourself. Who are you, where are you from, the whole spiel.
My name's Conor Witherspoon. I'm from Metamora, Michigan. This is my second year with the Mayhem, and I'm 26 years old.
So you're coming off of this is your second season, as you mentioned, but first full off-season as a pro. What was that like compared to the off-season prior where you were looking to break into the league?
Well, the off-season prior to this one, I was not doing much. I had shoulder surgery, so I was just kind of doing physical therapy and waiting to be cleared. And then this off-season, I spent a lot of time training, working out, skating, and it kind of prepared me for this year, yeah.
That's cool. So start of the season, you mentioned obviously coming off of surgery is a huge difference, but what were some of the differences coming into year 2 compared to the start of last season, just right off the bat?
I would say the guys in the room, we all got along really well, really quickly, and meshed really well, and we've been a great welcoming team. We've had a lot of guys through here and this year so far, and it's been really comfortable for a lot of guys, and it's been a lot of fun, a lot of energy.
That's good. So even though the not a ton of returners, how has it been like building that from scratch with mostly a new group? Some returners, Josh, Bailey, Goldie, all coming back, but with a mostly new group, how does that work when you've got some core coming back, but a lot of new faces as well?
Yeah, I think just being welcoming and kind of showing them the ropes, the new guys, kind of show them how we conduct ourselves here and what we do on and off the ice and how we do it. I think we have a really good core group of guys that were able to kind of explain that and show the new guys that have been here, and it's been a good transition.
That's good. So obviously for you individually, the points and the goals are coming right now. Do you feel any different than you did last season? Obviously coming off of surgery last year may have played a little bit of a part, but do you feel any different from the way that you did last season?
I wouldn't say I feel different. I think I just kind of take it one day at a time. Preparation kind of builds my confidence, and as long as I'm preparing the right way, I feel like I'm more confident on the ice.
So this year you're playing with Mateo and Kells. Those guys, you've kind of stuck together pretty much since Mateo came back from suspension. What can you say about those guys, playing with them? You didn't play with them together last season much, so how has that shift been for you?
It's been great. We're actually all roommates, so there's a lot of chemistry off the ice that translates onto the ice, and they're two incredible players. They play a really well-balanced game, both ends of the ice. They make it really easy for me, and yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, it's been great. So the team's hot right now, 3 wins in a row, 4 out of the last 6. What has changed, over that span? Is there anything that you can point to and say this was kind of a turning point on the ice, in the locker room, whatever it may be?
Obviously, I think JT's injury was a huge turning point for us. We all rallied behind him, and he's been doing amazing, and he's just kind of an inspiration for all of us. So I think that has been a big spark for our team, for sure.
That was going to be my next question, is how would you describe the way that that's changed the team? What kind of an impact does he have on you guys?
He's just the best teammate ever, the best guy ever. I can't say enough good things about him. He's amazing. On and off the ice, he's a great player, and he's a great person. I think us rallying behind him and him just always being positive and putting a smile on his face, super brave kid. And I think that's all brought us really close together, and obviously it's kind of translated to some success here.
Of course it has. So this weekend, 3 big games coming up, Quad City and Pensacola, 2 teams that you've seen already. What are some of the things that you think are most important to execute on to keep getting points in the standings this weekend?
I think just sticking to our game plan, getting pucks behind their D, forechecking hard, getting pucks to the net. I don't necessarily think we should change the way that we play for any team in this league, because I think that when we're playing our type of style of game, we can compete and beat anybody, and I think we just kind of stick to our identity this weekend, and hopefully we'll be just fine.
We were talking a little bit earlier about, you've seen Quad already more recently than Pensacola. What were some of the things that you want to shift when you see them this time around?
Yeah, I think last time we played them, we were a little bit tentative. We were kind of feeling each other out the whole game, and now that we kind of know what they're about, we can kind of impose the way we want to play onto them and kind of make them adjust to us.
Like that. So last question about that specifically, Pensacola, that game coming on Sunday. What changes for you guys when you see multiple teams in a short window like that, where you have quad, Pensacola 3 nights in a row? How does that change for you guys as a player?
I think for me at least, I try to stick to the way I normally play and just kind of focus on the small details of the game and try to do the little things right, win face-offs, win battles, and I think the same way for the rest of the guys on the team. As long as we're all doing our individual jobs, then we'll see success, and it doesn't really matter who we play or where we play, when we play. I think as long as we show up ready to go, then we'll take care of business.
Last thing, what is one word you would use to describe this team this season?
I would say resilient. I would think we've been through a lot of adversity and we've handled it pretty well for the most part, and I'm excited to see where things keep going.
Absolutely. We've got a couple of questions from write-ins. Well, I guess we kind of already answered this, but what did you do this offseason to lead to your offensive output this season?
Yeah, just I was able to train and put a lot of time in on the ice, and I think that really is all you really need to do in order to be able to have success and play your game.
So next question, and then we'll open the floor to anybody here in the house. What is your or the team's favorite color to wear, favorite jersey that you've worn?
My favorite for this year would be the Reds, for sure.
The new Reds?
Yeah. I'm excited to wear the Christmas jerseys this weekend.
Oh, yeah, they'll get to see them tomorrow. That'll be cool. We'll open the floor now. If anybody has any questions for Conor here at Fatty's, also online if you want to drop any questions for Conor. Got one on the side?
Specifically, we're trending looking at about 20 goals, 20 assists for you this year. Are you excited to hit that milestone number, or you just play your name and hope into that?
Like I said, I think I just take it day by day, step at a time. I don't try to look at numbers too often because, I don't know, it's just a mental game as it is enough. So I just try to kind of just stay focused on winning games and playing hockey, pretty much.
Anybody else? Got one? I'm going to repeat it so that everybody can hear it.
Speaking of like mental games, the twirl and the sheathing, is that like a mental game or is that for you?
Yeah, it's about the celebration.
I think that one's for me. I saw it a long time ago, an NHL player did it, and I don't know, I loved it, and I thought it was a good, simple way to celebrate.
Anybody else? Anybody else got anything for Conor before we get Dave up here? We got a special announcement coming up in just a couple of minutes, so want to open the floor for anybody else that's got something for Conor. No? All right, give Conor a big round of applause, everybody. Thank you for being our first guest of the season. We'll take a quick break and get Dave up here. All right, everybody, we've got head coach Dave Pszenyczny up at the front. Round of applause for head coach Dave. So we're going to start things off, Dave. Obviously, if everybody's been keeping in touch with the transactions today, Alex Cohen called up to Orlando. So there's that on the transactions today, but obviously something that they don't know about coming down the pipeline pretty quickly here soon.
Yeah, we're going to be bringing back a familiar face for the weekend.
Any insight on who?
He may have worn number 12 last year.
And for those who don't know, that would be?
Dan Winslow. Oh, we got somebody excited over here. Oh.
So Dan will be back with the team this weekend. That is the expectation, yeah?
Yeah, no, he'll be here. He's excited. He's been in quite a bit of contact with Taylor. So, yeah, we're excited. You know, I thought last year he was our heartbeat of the team, and, you know, it's nice to get him back. I think he feels what's kind of coming on here in Macon as of late. So we're excited to have Daniel back.
That'll be sweet. Got some more people rolling in. Justin Thompson in the house.
It's going to make me all nervous now.
If you're on Facebook, go ahead and get your questions in. We're going to run through some stuff with Dave first, but then we're going to open up the floor to everyone online and here in house. So kicking things off, similar question to the one that we asked Conor at the very beginning. It was his first full off season as a pro. It's also your first full off season as the head coach here in Macon. What kind of difference did that make as opposed to coming in late in the cycle last year?
Yeah, you know, you get a little fresh restart on recruiting, and you know, kind of it allowed me at least and Taylor to kind of take a step back and dissect last season. I felt that when you're in it, you could become overfilled with emotions because things aren't going your way, and then you take a step back and realize, wow, we had a really young team, but there was progression within that. And at the end of the day, all we ask is that these guys give their all, and they did. And I think a lot of our first-year players on a normal team probably don't get that much experience, but kind of fast forward to now, you kind of see it paying off, you know, with the second-year guys that are coming in and making an impact.
I was going to say, a follow-up question, how much of an impact would you say that makes? How big of a difference is it truly?
I think it's very crucial in the sense that, you know, you come in as a first-year guy, whether out of college or out of major junior, and you don't know how to prep your body, what the schedule's like, what it takes to, you know, consistently compete every day. And, you know, the guys that we brought back that were first-year guys, you know, they did what they needed to do in the offseason, and, you know, it's kind of like we're reaping those rewards a little bit earlier than expected.
So the team, for the most part, has stayed intact since opening night, at least especially compared to last season. A few changes here and there. Why would you say that is? What can you point to that kind of contributes to that?
Well, you need consistency when you're building a team, and, you know, Taylor and I kind of sat back and, hey, like, where do we project these players to come in? Where can we fill? You know, obviously with Winslow, you know, not being here at the start kind of hurt us. You know, bringing Cohen back after being in the ECHL last season was a big boost for us. We knew with our goaltending that, you know, undoubtedly we feel that we have the best goalie tandem in the league. Whoever's in the net, we know we can rely on, so we don't have to really worry about that department, and, you know, kind of build from there out. You know, got some fortunate recruits that you don't really, I don't want to say you don't have on your radar, it's just that you never know if you're going to get them, right, because they're going to start off in the ECHL. So we've been fortunate in that regard, but, you know, as this season's progressing, you know, it's nice to see the progression as we're getting into a little bit bulk of a season, because we haven't really played that many games compared to the rest of the league.
A lot of games in hand at this point, and I want to get back to that later. But next question is going to be, the team started to pull out close wins lately, tough wins. The season started with 7 straight one-goal games, and in the first 5 games, 4 losses by 1 goal. What's the difference in turning those tight games from losses into wins?
Well, I think you got to learn how to win, and, you know, it's not always easy to lose and lose by 1 goal. It gets frustrating, it gets irritating, but, you know, I think if you're looking at the course of playoffs, right, those are going to be the tight games. And I think as of late, we've been on the other end of that, you know, on this little 3-game streak. And We're finding different ways to win. And, that's the difference. I thought Saturday night we could have packed it in 10 seconds in, but the next shift we go down and we create a grade A scoring chance. So, it's about the momentums in the games and the shift. And right now, looking at what we've played, we really had a bad stretch of 9 days, looking at our record as of now.
Yeah, 6 games in 9 days earlier, and you've started to come off that a little bit. I'll actually jump this question up next because it leads in pretty smoothly. The team's had a lot of one-off games this season, where you have one game per weekend and that's it, whether it be here at home or on the road. Saturday's win over Roanoke being the latest. Do you like that? What are kind of the benefits or detriments to only having one game per weekend, especially this early in the season?
It could be good or bad depending on how your last game was. I think we were fortunate enough with this standalone Saturday game coming off 2 big wins the weekend before. But what are we, not even 2 months in, and we've already had 4 standalone games. So it's pretty interesting when you see other teams constantly playing on the weekends. And if I'm not mistaken, like Pensacola played a Thursday game last week and they had the whole weekend off, right? So
there's 2 Thursday games this week as well.
Yeah, it's very interesting in the sense that you add more games to the schedule, but then you still have weekends where you're playing one off. So I understand that goes with building, scheduling, and logistics and all that. But, at the end of the day, it's, we want to play games.
So my next question would be, who are a couple of guys this season in particular that you feel like have kind of been unsung heroes? Obviously, there's guys that are towards the top of the team in points or goals. Who, in your eyes, has been kind of like an underground, underappreciated guy?
I think Taylor and I talk about it quite a bit, and I think he's actually here. Justin Kelly, I think, is very unsung right now, and kind of helping out that line with Ybarra and Witherspoon. But if you actually break down the game footage of why those guys are getting the opportunities, it's because he's creating them for them, and it's only a matter of time before things start going well for him in the point department.
Mm-hmm. So looking ahead this weekend, Quad City, 2 games, Friday, Saturday. Do you approach those games any differently? Obviously, you have a long history in Quad City. What kind of goes in through your mind when they come into town?
No, I mean, just another team. I think last season was a little bit more, and we did what we needed to do. And I think this season is just totally different, and we see them a little bit more than we did last year. And I think for me, they're hot right now, right?
It's 2 of the hottest teams in the league right now.
Yeah, well, that could change on Thursday night, but we're going to catch them on their second and third night, and we'll be starting ours. So, it's tale of 2 tapes, right? Like, you got a team that just competed the night before, and we haven't. Mm-hmm. So sometimes that's good, and then sometimes you might take a period to get back into it.
So what did you learn from the first matchup against Quad City this season that you want to carry into this weekend?
I think the boys know my answer when we had video session the next day. If I had to waste my time watching that game for 3 hours, then they had to waste their time. But we made the corrections we needed to. I think for me the frustrating part was we didn't execute our game plan. It was just not good compete-wise, to be PG about it.
Fair enough. So the team also plays Pensacola on Sunday, who's at the top of the league standings right now. How have you felt about the first 2 matchups against them so far this season? And I asked Conor this question too, but how does your game week approach change when you play multiple different teams?
I just think you stick to the game plan. Not much deviates as far as like when you're playing so close, different teams. The biggest thing is that we haven't seen Pensacola since week 3, mm-hmm. right? And both those games could easily win our way. Obviously we ended up losing in shootouts, but I like where our game's at. I like where our team, when we decide we want to play, we have an opportunity to win every night, and seems to be that we're generating right now, and we're playing with a little bit more confidence than we were in previous weeks.
Of course. So let's talk goaltending. Birkin has been great this season. Boyko's got 3 straight wins and 3 straight starts. How do you balance those 2 from week to week? What kind of goes into, what kind of conversations are being had when you decide who to put in the crease?
Yeah, we had a conversation with both. Obviously, it could be number 1s, but we brought them in and had a conversation of like, hey, this is not about stats and egos here. It's about team first, and Taylor and I we have this special coin in the locker room that we flip, and one side's Birkin and one side's Boyko. So that's how we determine.
Most would say that this team, we've heard it from multiple fans as well, the team's got a little bit more bite this year just compared to last, even among the guys that are returners, not just the new added bite that has come in through free agency, acquisitions, and trades. What would you maybe attribute that to?
You got to have a good nucleus, right? We have a bunch of good guys in that room. Obviously losing JT is devastating. I think that would be for any team, losing your top goal scorer at the time. And what he brought as far as youth and, just a different side of the game. And I think we've kind of gotten over that in a sense. It took us a while to kind of get through that, but it seems like we pushed through and realized just to kind of be grateful that we're able to lace up the skates every day, because it could be taken pretty quickly. Yeah,
of course. Next question. We talk about it every time you're here. Power play. It's been on and off this season. Some games it looks really, really good. Some games it just can't quite break through. Aside from just looking at the numbers, how many times, how many chances, what do you look at to gauge kind of the effectiveness of the power play to determine whether you're satisfied with how it operated on a nightly basis?
I think it comes down if we're executing what we pre-scouted against the PK. There's been stretches in the season where we've been fine breaking in and we haven't been good at our releases or our auto support. And I think you got to have both, right? You got to win puck possession off the face-off. That way you're not killing 20 seconds, starting your breakout. And then it just comes down to a killer instinct, right? And, last game, okay, we have 4 opportunities, but, on the other side of it, right, we kill 6 penalties. And, sometimes you get handed a bone in this league with, officiating. But, at the end of the day, if you want to score, there's your perfect opportunity to do it is on the power play.
Of course. On the other side, the penalty kill, taking a little bit of a step back this season. Obviously, it was towards the top of the league all year last year. Have you liked what you've seen from the penalty kill on a regular basis? What kind of adjustments do you want to make to get it up back towards that 80 to 85% clip it was around last year?
Yeah, so we broke down the PK, and we really like – let me rephrase that. We like that we're not getting seam passed. We're not getting picked apart. It's mostly broken plays. The one top off my head is like the game against Huntsville opening night here. We have a face-off in their zone because we almost scored a short-handed goal, and we miss a shot. They go down, broken play. We miss a check. It's in the back of the net. If we were getting consistently seam pass from flank to flank, backdoor, down low plays, we would have a bigger issue. Right now, we're just missing those blocks up top, the shot blocks, the second layers. Once we clean that up, and we've been doing a pretty good job of that, our numbers should jump up here.
So my last question, I've got a couple of write-ins for you, but my last question. The team has been in 5 shootouts already this season, only 2 all year last year, so you've already more than doubled that. What do you think the team can do differently to end those games in overtime before you get to the shootout? And then the other question is, what goes through your decision-making when you're deciding who to send over the boards in those shootouts?
To answer the first question, we just got to put the puck over the red line, score goals. And I think where we're at right now with our game, I think we'll be seeing that. I mean, we came back and Evansville scored a 6-on-5 goal to push overtime, which is good, right? I felt like last year we didn't have that jam to get that tying goal, and we would just end up losing regulation. So in this league, you got to get points as you can, right? If there's points on the board, you have to at least get 1. So, we did a good start of the season. Like I said, those 9 days kind of really put a damper in our record, but you can't change anything in the past. You just got to move forward. And then for shootout, we went 10 rounds that one night. I heard you saying you lost track.
I sure did.
I was keeping track on the bench, and sometimes the guys do shootouts after every practice once a week, and we kind of keen in on it at times. And some guys don't take it seriously, and that's fine. It's just you might not be the guy that's getting called upon, but once again, like our goalies always give us an opportunity in those shootouts. We got to reward those guys with getting goals in regulation and taking the pressure off of them. Because at the end of the day, they're going to let in a fluke one. Everybody's human, right? We all make mistakes, and but if we could just relieve them a little bit, that's why I usually opt to go first in the shootout. So that way, if we get a goal, it gives the goalie a little bit less pressure to play with.
Got a couple write-in questions for you. Penalty minutes trending up this season compared to last year. Why do you think that is, and how do you feel about it?
I'm impartial about it. I mean, fights happen. There's 10 minutes. There's suspensions. Sometimes you get a whistle-happy referee. It is what it is at the end of the day. I don't really look too much into it. You try to look through the stats of the league and teams, and there's really it doesn't make sense at the end of the day. So I try not to dive too much into it.
Got it. So I already asked this one. You got the coin flip to decide who gets the start each game. Last write-in that we had before we open the floor here is, what has impressed you most about the team over the last couple of games on this heater that they're on?
Yeah, I don't know. Something really clicked in Evansville. I mean, I didn't think we played the best 40 minutes, and then all of a sudden, I'm looking at Taylor on the bench like, where is this coming from, right? And
if you watched that game, that third period was noticeably different from the first two.
I believe we only gave up 3 shots. Mm-hmm. We just seemed like to be on the attack consistently, not just one line. It was everybody contributing, and then to score with the goalie pulled is huge. It gives us more confidence, and then obviously to win it in a shootout, it's huge. I keep sounding like a broken record, but you have to get points in this league, because you could be at the bottom and then you could be in 7th, 6th place by the end of the weekend, depending on how the other games went. So, if the ball's in our court, we got to make sure that we're doing our part.
Got some questions from online. Raymond from the Coliseum says, how's the ice been this season?
Ice has been good, Raymond. Ice has been good. Like seeing that number 12 on there.
Speaking
really
of
good job.
Number 12, some questions about if Winslow is back for the season or just this weekend.
To be determined.
TBD. That's all we've got from online. We'll open it up in-house. Any questions here? Our next show is in a month, so if you have any questions you want Dave to answer, go ahead and let him know now, because this will be your last chance until January 13th when we're back here again. Go ahead.
I was distracted. You may have passed it. With Conor going up to the coast, are you planning on replacing that leadership spot at all and giving somebody else an A, or upgrading somebody to have the C?
So the question was about with Cohen going to Orlando, what's the plan with the captaincy group there?
No, I don't think needs to be a replacement. We know Winnie's a leader, coming in. It's not like we're going to slap a C on him. I don't think that's an appropriate decision, to be honest with you. I know maybe the fans would love to see it, but, at the end of the day, I don't think that does anything positively for the group.
Any other questions we got?
Was there a change to how we break out of the defensive zone? It seemed like we went from into long stretch passes into the center of the ice. Did we change it? If we did, was it something we saw on our side, or was it a matchup type thing you wanted to change?
So there's a question about if the breakout changed this season.
Yeah, I mean, with the pre-scout that Taylor and I do, we'll tweak things here and there. We're big on that. If you're going to be able to break out clean, you're going to enter through the neutral zone and you'll have a good entry. If you go to any of our scoring chances, it all stems from getting a shutdown quick in the defensive zone, building from transition from there on the breakout. So, yeah, I mean, we've done a few tweakings here and there, but once again, it really depends on who we're playing too.
Any other questions? Anyone else? Questions for Dave? We got nothing online. Last call in-house. All right, that'll do it. Everybody, thank you for coming to our first coaches show of the season. Greatly appreciate it. Next one will be on January 13th, so go ahead and mark your calendars. We'll be back here at Fatty's. Everybody give a round of applause for Dave. Thank you all for coming out tonight. We will see you this weekend.